Lovely stuff. Welcome back to the channel today for my second video. We're going to get straight stuck into the meat here. I don't like to sort of write down what I'm going to talk about. I like to kind of discover it as I'm walking around, because I think that way it makes it much more genuine and more authentic. What I'm going to be talking about today is about a valuable lesson that I've learned over my past sort of year or two of living, I guess. I just want to say that I don't think I've got all the answers. I don't think I'm the wisest person there, anything like that. I'm just talking to you from my own experiences, and yeah, as I said previously, this is kind of like a personal diary. If any of you are able to take value from them, oh my god, my hair's annoying, then that's great. But yeah, this is just kind of my personal vlog diary, if you will. So I learned a very valuable lesson, and that was actually, I'll head this way. I said previously, I touched on it lightly, and again I'm going to lightly touch on it because this is not what this video is about. But I was in a difficult place before I came to China, as many people have experienced. I wasn't, the happiest sort of person. I didn't know where I wanted to take my life. I was starting to get into my adulthood and starting to find my way. The days, the weeks, the months, the years were ticking on, and I had no sort of progress in the direction that I felt some purpose from, or I didn't even know. I was just disorientated, and I had no idea where I wanted to go. And I think that is a big thing, a big problem with sort of society. I'm going to kind of come back in a second. That's a bit loud. That's a big kind of issue with our society at the moment, and not one that I have an answer for. But you're kind of thrown into real life a bit fast, and you're kind of expected to just know what you want to do, know the path you're going to take. But a lot of people don't. You're very lucky at around 20, 25, even 25, 30, I guess, if you know exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life. So I didn't, of course, and this made me feel just like I had no purpose, really. Not in the sense that I was suicidal or anything like that. I was just I just wasn't really feeling any value from anything that I was doing. So I read a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I didn't read it, I actually listened to it on Audible. And this book literally opened my eyes. I was never a person to read or listen to books before that. I think it was the first book I'd literally read or listened to in years. And it was a recommendation from a podcast that I really enjoyed from Joe Rogan, with David Goggins. And this book literally opened my eyes so much. That was the catalyst to start a change in my life, 100%. And I was really grateful to find that. It's basically the whole sort of, what do you call it? The message of the whole story is basically about not being comfortable. It's forcing yourself to be uncomfortable. And comfort basically just is the worst thing for you. It's gonna put you into dark places if you feel comfortable for a long time, in my opinion anyway. Just as I'm walking back after I got my look in, I just thought of a point that I wanted to add on. That book, Can't Hurt Me, that book is about a transformation of a guy who was dealt the worst possible hand of cards from being born. Up until 10, he'd suffered an incredible amount of trauma, abuse, all that stuff, right? And he managed to flip that on its head, use all of that as fuel to become the hardest man the world has ever known. And I can't recommend that book enough. And what that did for me is it motivated me to start running, because that's what he did to start. And I'd never seen running as a mental thing before then. I just thought, I stay pretty thin, So I thought, I never need to exercise, I don't like it, I don't like running. I never looked at it from the mental aspect, the mental health side. That I started running and I started getting addicted to the difficulty of running every day. I'd never ran before, like just for leisure, I guess. And after 6 weeks, I'd gone from being able to run 500 meters to being able to do like 6 miles, and I was getting up every single morning without fail before work. It's still dark, winter, 6 a.m. I was getting up to run, and it fueled me. It got to that point where I made it a habit. I made it more of a habit, and then I was getting addicted to the uncomfort, if you will. So this is what I mean by trying to find something that's uncomfortable. That then led me on to doing more things that I didn't think I would do, and then that eventually led to me thinking, I could do something as uncomfortable as moving to China. So that book, I've got to give it a lot of credit. That changed my perspective a lot. Anyway, back to the main segment, and that was kind of the message of this book. So the analogy I like to use for sort of being comfortable and staying in the same place in life is, those moving walkways in airports when you stand still. If you walk on it the opposite direction, so you're walking against it, if you stand still, you're moving backwards. You have to kind of battle forwards to be able to push forwards. And that's the kind of analogy I like to use with life. If you're stood still, then essentially you're moving backwards, because every day, every week that you're stood still doing nothing is another day, another week for your mind to sort of start feeling like you're getting nowhere. And from experience, that kind of led down to a dark place. So what I did, I got it into my mind that I needed to do something really big that was gonna scare me, and that was moving to China. And that was really difficult, honestly. That was, I really had to psych myself up to it, and I don't think that would be easy for anyone. But as I've said before, that was the best decision I've ever made in my life, and that kind of propelled me into doing more things that I was uncomfortable doing. There was lots of little things, like speaking in front of people. I went up and did I co-hosted a show in front of an auditorium of people. I've done just little jobs here and there that really made me feel uncomfortable, anxious, all of those things. I hope you can hear me, because this road, the road is so loud. Obviously the cars on the road are so loud. And I think I'm not going to act like I always take every opportunity that is provoking an anxiety or a negative response, a negative emotion in my body. I don't take every opportunity like I should. Obviously, I'm trying to learn this as well, but I feel like I'm getting better at it. And taking that plunge, taking that leap of faith to move to China was definitely the catalyst for my life improving. Also, adding on to that, doing this YouTube thing, right, is definitely making me feel some sort of value in my life. It's the first thing that I'm actually living on this full time at the moment. I'm working full time on the other channel with my dad, and that's what I'm living on. The revenue from that is what I'm living on. And I've never had a job that has made me feel so much satisfaction from getting the paycheck as this one. And of course, a lot of people would like to be in the same position, I imagine, because it's great. The three things that I really feel is the reason why this is feeling so purposeful, and I'm getting so much value from this job, is there's three things I would like in a career, and that is to be my own boss, to be able to be anywhere in the world. I can't bear the thought of having to stay in one place for the rest of my life, like to develop my career. So to be anywhere in the world, and third, to be able to help others. I'm very much a people's person, and that is something that I just want to do all the time, is to help others, whether that's little daily things like helping someone take a pram down the stairs, or whether that's, you know, making videos to hopefully, I'm not saying I do, but to hopefully influence others. You know, that makes me feel good. And it might not be for everyone, but I'm really enjoying this. So hopefully this can sort of develop more. And yeah, I just want to kind of conclude this video, I guess. The video is essentially try not to stay in your little comfortable bubble. The brutal truth is that it's never going to take you anywhere. And if you're not enjoying your time, if you're living for the weekend and you're not enjoying being in this comfortable bubble, it's only going to get worse and worse. And that is truly the case. You can't expect things to come and find you. Sometimes they will. Sometimes opportunities will find you, and you'll get lucky. And that's definitely happened to me. But for the best part, you need to put yourself out there. You need to make yourself uncomfortable. You need to make yourself known to be able to have those opportunities come your way. You know, it's not going to be handed to you on a plate. The reality is, no one gives an F about you other than, you know, about you and your career. You have to put the work in. Like, I kind of thought a year or two ago that things were just gonna start to fall into my path, you know, things were gonna find me. And that is the total wrong way of looking at it. You really need to go out there and find it yourself. It's as simple as that. And on that path of learning a new skill, like currently I'm learning Chinese, and that's also something that is making me feel, I do it in the morning every day, and that's making me feel like I've got a little win at the start of every day. It's something that I can feel I'm progressing. You know, it's a very long process, but I can feel I'm in the right direction, you know, and that makes me just feel better throughout the day, you know. So do something that's difficult, do something that makes you uncomfortable, and things will start heading up from there. Anyway, that's my little chat for today. There are my thoughts. I'm just heading down this street now. I'm going to pick up a Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is actually a Chinese brand. It's similar to Starbucks, but they have no cashier, so you have to order on your phone and pick it up. I love it. But that's enough of me. Anyway, if you did like the video, please like it, share it, all that jazz. Subscribe if you haven't already. You know, this is a new channel, so I want to get it out there as much as I possibly can. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye for now.